IronRidge Resources is an AIM-listed minerals exploration company with a wide portfolio of gold, lithium, iron ore, bauxite, amongst others, in frontier regions of Africa and also Australia. It's been active recently, securing new licenses for the exploration of lithium and gold. Vincent Mascolo is the chief executive. He joins us now with some more. Vincent, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Jeremy.
A massively wide, long list of portfolio interests around the world. Explain what you're trying to deliver here, because you are essentially just a small cap company. Not just, but you are a small cap company.
We're trying to deliver success. We have 11 province scale projects across 4 or 5 jurisdictions. Our main focus at the moment is Ghana lithium. We're drilling there. We believe that's going to be the first company maker. We've drilled, from our last announcement, nine drill holes intersecting over 130 metres of pegmatite intersections. We also have, so drilling is continuing now. I think we're up to about our 40th drill hole. Can't talk too much about that at the moment. That hasn't been released to market, so assays are pending. We're waiting for that, but we firmly believe that Ghana will be our first company maker. We're one of the probably 2, 3, 4 companies in West Africa that have actually made lithium discoveries, but none of them actually have the infrastructure credentials that we do. We're adjacent to we're adjacent to infrastructure, we're adjacent to power lines, we're adjacent to bitumen roads. We're less than 100 kilometres from Accra, the capital. We're less than 90 kilometres from the port of Takoradi. So we're ticking all those boxes. There's not many other lithium companies in Africa that can actually boast those credentials.
Why lithium? What is it about lithium that's so important? We hear this a lot from a lot of small cap companies that are looking for lithium assets.
Well, I think the main talk on lithium is actually the electric vehicle space. We have a slightly different view on that. We actually had, many years ago, or a couple of years ago I should say, we did a bit of an initiative. We called it the Lights of Africa, because there's so many countries throughout Africa that just don't have electrification. And we'll talk a little bit about Chad in a moment. I mean, that's a country, 13 million, population of 13 million, has electrification of about 4%. Right. It's all good and well. Look, without a doubt, electric vehicles and stored energy is becoming fundamental. It's revolutionising the power industry, but it's all good and well to say that we're building a power station, 600 kilometres, but how do you then service a village of 20 or 30 or 40,000 people? It's that infrastructure. So we think that the stored energy space is going to revolutionise and create further industry throughout Africa.
So you say a potential company maker. How long are you looking at in terms of the position now, in terms of some of your milestones you've got to cover to get to that point where you could well see some big returns for the business?
That could be 3 to 4 years potentially. I mean, we've just drilled out one of 5 of our main targets, which is at Awoya. We're probably going to be moving on to a Bonku, subject to some budgetary requirements, and we're waiting on some additional applications. But just at Awoya, we think that alone in itself could potentially develop into a mine. And look, lithium is hot. I mean, there's the supply-demand curve is definitely in our favour at the moment. So yeah, very excited for lithium.
Yeah. You mentioned Chad. Let's talk about that as well, because I know you're very excited about what's happening in Chad. You have some recent headlines as well there from the country.
Yes.
Explain more about that in terms of what you're planning for the business.
Look, Chad, frontier, first mover, early mover advantage, largely unexplored by modern day technology, and in actual fact we are one of the we're actually the only active explorer for minerals in Chad, predominantly oil country, Exxon, Total, and mercifully for them, they built a lot of the infrastructure for us, so we've got tarred, sealed roads going straight to our doorsteps. Our key project there is Dorothy.
This is gold, isn't it?
This is primarily for gold. However, we have actually identified a significant copper anomaly in the last campaign. But further to that, I mean, we've got 3-4 square kilometre areas of artisanal workings, getting phenomenal results in the regions of up to 40 grams per tonne. We've just finished 15,000 kilometres from last year's campaign into this campaign. We've just finished 15 kilometres of trenching, so we're waiting for those assays to come through. And then further to that, we've also got Kalaka and Nabagay. We just recently had those granted. We've been working on that for quite a while with the ministry, and we're very excited with Kalaka. We were that excited with Kalaka. We've just finished our programs now in Chad for Ramadan and the wet season, but as soon as we got Kalaka granted, that is to the north and directly adjacent and along Stroke Dorothy. So that now means we have a 40-kilometre potentially gold zone strike, and so what we did, we shifted the guys quickly over to that, because we've actually right now, as I'm sitting here with you, we have the entire Tecton team. That was the team that we took when we took over the company of Tecton. They're all in London now. We're doing a big planning session for 2018, 2019. So yeah, very excited. It has huge potential. Geologists are telling us that we've got surface depletion, which means lower grades at surface and implies we're going to get better grades at depth. So Dorothy is drill ready, but the costs of actually mobilising drill rigs into Chad is quite expensive. So we're just sort of now talking about how we would let's get some more work in on the surrounding grounds so we can justify a huge program, likely early to mid next year now.
Yeah, we're focusing first of all on Africa. I know you're very excited about that. You've also got Australia, because you go on the front page of your website, you mentioned Australia as well.
Yes.
But that's not quite so important, is it? Explain why not. What's in Australia that's happening at the moment?
Well, in Australia we've got a JORC compliant maiden bauxite resource. It's a small resource, about 55 million tonnes. We've just done actually a reconnaissance program there to test the extremities to see if we can expand on that. But look, it's not going to give us the reward to shareholders in the short term. Bauxite prices are stagnant. We are a fair distance from infrastructure, but look, we've got a JORC resource. It does have value. We're keeping the projects in good standing. To be honest, it's probably we keep the project just to remind us where we live and where we come from, and get us to come home from time to time. But look, the focus is Africa. That's where the risk and reward is going to be. Well,
let's take a look at in conjunction of the share price at the moment. 28.75 pence for IronRidge Resources here as an AIM stock. What are you telling investors about the opportunity here? What's priced in at these levels? Because you've got some interesting high-profile minerals coming on in Africa.
Yes.
You've spoken about, and a whole ton of others as well.
Yeah.
First of all, investors, what are they going to get out of this? What's your long-term plan to reward shareholders?
A significantly higher share price than where we're at. If, for argument's sake, if the lithium project proves up as we're hoping, and you look at our peers, our market cap could be anywhere between 500 million to $1 billion.
And you're currently 75
and we're currently
sterling.
75 sterling.
Yeah.
And that's just on Ghana alone. Chad, Dorothy in its own right, we believe is a multi-million ounce deposit. The addition of Kalaka will add many, all subjective of course.
Of course, yeah.
Will add many more millions of ounces to that. So we're hoping we'll attract a lot of the majors. We are getting interest in that jurisdiction from the majors. But look, we also have Côte d'Ivoire. We're one of the largest gold tenure holders in Côte d'Ivoire. I think we've got about 3,500 square kilometres for gold, and also in Côte d'Ivoire we have lithium. So all those projects are being explored at the moment, well, in particular the ones that are granted. More recently we had 4 granted tenures adjacent, two of those tenures adjacent to known resources, and all the projects that we have in Côte d'Ivoire on the gold front are actually along major structural trends that have shown to hold, 5, 10, up to 20 million ounce deposits. So
how are you going to get to where you need to be in terms of the monetary necessity here? Where are you going to raise the money from? How are you going to get the money? You're talking there about potential interest from some big potential partners. Is that how it's going to happen, or are you going to tap investors for money?
Look, at the moment we've got such a strong shareholder base. We have Sumitomo Corporation,
right.
Which is a conglomerate. Don't need to explain that, household name. We have Assor Limited, which is a South African mining house, and then where we originated from, which I'm also a director with on, is DGR Global. So it's predominantly an exploration expertise. So we have the ability to take projects from exploration, discovery, into development, all the way to sales. We don't have a specific strategy. What we have done is we've created a company that has options. So we can either joint venture, farm out, develop ourselves. We have options now. And that's the beauty of the model that we've created.
So you're prepared to produce, or are you
Yes.
taking it to market as a usable asset and selling it on?
Could be any of the above. Right. We have the ability to take to produce. A significant interest is already coming in from existing shareholders into the lithium space in Ghana. Gold space, we'll expect that we'll get some significant attraction from some of the major gold players.
Unfortunately, time is beating us, but we've got to round it all off now and take a look at where you're going to be by the end of this year. We've got just tipping into the second half of the year, 2018. Where are you going to be in December?
Well, hopefully we're going to be significantly re-rated. Hopefully we'll be making several announcements and continuous news flow across all our jurisdictions. So I'm not going to forecast a share price. I think I'll let the investors, they can look at our peers and make their own investment decisions on that.
Okay, good luck with everything, Vincent. It's good to talk to you. Thanks indeed for joining us. Vincent Mascolo is the Chief Executive of IronRidge Resources, a company with lots of interest in frontier Africa. Subscribe to IG for educational content, company insight, financial analysis and expert commentary.